Hello traders, this is Isaac from Trade Simple, Trade Smart with a quick analysis on what's happening in the markets and what's happened recently and what to look out for. I've got the dollar index here. I'm going to begin with that and then move on to the Dow Jones and then look at pound dollar. Looking at this, we could see most currency pairs have started. They've been, they've moved reasonably well during the summer months, but now we're seeing some turns in the markets. With a drop in pound dollar and euro dollar. So what's kicking all of that off? What's causing all of that? Well, let's look at the dollar index because we can see we've been in this massive trend and now we're in this sideways consolidation here. That's kicked off a lot of the moves. This explains why we've seen the strength in the dollar, why a lot of pairs have collapsed against it, pound dollar, euro dollar, etc. And the question is that coming to an end? Is it likely to continue? And that's what I want to look at. First thing is this trend remains intact until this lower level gets taken out. So as long as we stay above this level, which is 93.24, as long as dollar index stays above that, then I'll remain bullish on the dollar. The moment we go below that, then I'll be bearish on the dollar until we sort of these next levels here where we've got the next potential test. So there should be quite a bit of space in which we should see turns in the other currency pairs or in the main dollar-based pairs. So looking at this from a daily perspective, we recently came off the lows, and that was the lows here. We came off that. So since we've got some clear highs here, it looks like we're heading towards the highs of 98.15. Thereabouts. So until we get to that point, I'll remain bullish on the dollar. We might get some pullback, sideways movement before it heads back up, but nonetheless, the decision-making points here are this low, this high. These are the 2 points at which, if price gets up to here, then look for potential turns in the dollar-based pairs because they themselves may be approaching their levels of resistance as well. So if we look at this, so the main thing from here is we're sideways bullish, and looking at this on, let me switch to the pound dollar chart, we can see this decline in pound dollar correlates with the recent move up in the dollar index. So let's look where we are right now. What have we done? We've come to these lows. Now I looked at this a few weeks back, looking at how we should treat pound dollar, and although the overall perspective is that we're bearish on this, that the trend is still down, nonetheless, this is on a weekly chart. If we look at this on a daily chart, we can see that we're in this overall sideways movement here, this consolidation. So we came off the lows just most recently, and we can see there was a stop run here. As we've gone here, so they've hunted the stops below this level here, and it's reversed pretty sharply. Since that's happened, then we have to assume that it's going to head back up until the next major resistance along the way. And there are a couple of points which it's gone through. This is the middle of the cycle. If we clear this area, then the next level where we could look for a turn from is going to be off these highs here. So we've come off this support region. So therefore, the next logical place for price to go to is this overhead resistance here. How it moves in that direction will be difficult to say because nothing moves in a straight line. We've had an aggressive move down here and a sharp turn, so we can get a pullback before we continue up. Anything can really happen in the markets. You've got to be able to prepare for the different types of scenarios that can unfold. So the first thing now is we're looking for a long, looking for these highs, see what price does around here. If price fails of these levels here, then that could be a decline. But what I'll do is correlate it with what happens on a dollar index. That if you see the so if we see the dollar index here, I wouldn't make a decision until we reach these highs. If we reach these highs and that correlates with price on pound dollar reaching here, fine. If not, there may be more room for it to reach these highs before looking for potential short. So that's pound dollar. Moving on to the Dow Jones, we could see that this upward trend is still intact like we identified last time, and although we had this decline, we've not taken out this recent support, and we've got the 200 moving average as acting as support as well. Now, since we've bounced off this point, as long as we remain above it, we have to stay bullish. So we're bullish as long as we remain above this level. However, what has happened since? is that price has just simply bounced, gone up, come back down. So it's just not really given us much to work with. So my perspective on this would be just simply as follows. If you want the safest opportunity to look for longs, it would be above this most recent high, because by that point then we'd say, okay, well, the bulls are back in play. If we take out this low, this level of support, then obviously then we have to reconsider our position. But switching back to the weekly chart for clarity, the key thing is we have to remain bullish as long as we remain above this level. If we break below this, then we can look for shorting opportunities. That's the broader perspective. Now bear in mind we have entered the autumn trading period, where traditionally and seasonally, as we come up to Christmas time, we should see the stock market get higher. So there should be a rally in the stock markets. That happens year in, year out. Of course, nothing ever happens with absolute certainty all the time, but in the majority of cases, that is the case. So as a result, putting the two together, the fact that we are in this upward trend, the fact that we're still above this level, and we're coming to a seasonally bullish time in stocks, I would remain bullish until we get this level taken out completely. All right, that's the overall perspective for the time being. Happy trading, and I'll speak to you next time.